Hey everybody, welcome back to Connecting in the Virtual Classroom, Connecting in the Classroom. My name is Rusty May. I'm a school counselor by trade. We've been doing this show since the pandemic hit in March to give educators an opportunity to talk a little bit about what's going on with them and to talk about what successes they're having and some of the challenges they're facing. And we always appreciate those that join us live. I know a lot of people watch the show afterwards on a podcast as well as the recording. So thank you as well. And first and foremost, thanks for all you're doing. Thanks for all you're doing to help the kids in your care. As I said, I'm a school counselor by trade. So I've been working with kids for the last 20 years. And most of what I've been doing has been in the virtual environment and working with elementary through middle school students on social skills development. And I think it's really important right now as we continue to go through this process with COVID, that we are working diligently on a regular basis with our kids about those kinds of coping skills that they're using to manage some of the disappointment and some of the frustration, whether they're learning online or they're missing events that they care about and so forth. So a lot of what we talk about has to do with those kinds of things. And it's really an important conversation to have and a nice place for people to come who just want to talk a little bit about what's going on with them. We have, I think it's Nomsa. Did I pronounce it correctly? If you want to say hello and tell us a little bit about where you're from and what you do.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Yes, it's Nomsa. I am in Swaziland at the University of Eswatini.
Okay.
I'm a librarian there. It's an academic library um, where where I'm also involved in teaching as well as in the library. I thought this was an interesting show, so that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you. So what's going on where you said you were, I'm sorry, where are you located?
In Southern Africa, in
Okay.
Swaziland, Eswatini. It
Okay.
used to be Swaziland. I'm sure you've heard about Swaziland.
And how are things going there? And I know that South Africa had a pretty big surge back in March and April, but are you guys, how are things going now?
Well, for us in Swaziland, it isn't as bad as it is in South Africa. We haven't had a big surge for the past few weeks. Those who have caught COVID have been really um, lower in number, and we have witnessed more recoveries than the people who are sick. So I'm thinking that it's promising. It's not as bad. Of course, schools are still closed. Most of our teaching now is being done online, mostly via Zoom, via Google Classes, and so on. Even here at the university, we only have first years these days. We don't have the whole students coming to the university. So I guess trying to protect everyone, we are keeping as minimal physical contact as possible. But
Do you,
all in all, the the surge has not been that high.
how do you think the kids are dealing with it, especially the younger ones all the way up through where you are? How do you think the kids are dealing with that kind of separation?
I think it's hard on them. I think it's hard on them. I'm thinking of my own children. I have one going to second grade and
Mhm.
one in fourth grade. We've had to actually be hands on in assisting them with schoolwork. This side, most of their lessons are sent on WhatsApp, and then they go visit their Google Classroom. But the teachers send us the homeworks for them to do and all these activities. At first, I think they enjoyed them, but now I can see that they are missing school. they miss the physical contact. But it is comforting every time they have to watch their teacher giving them instruction on video calls. Otherwise, yeah, it's actually tough on us parents who are not used to actually having to teach the children, especially with us who are working full time. When they are left at home, you have to keep on checking how are they doing, how are they doing, and so on.
So who's taking care of your second grader when is she at home by herself when she's learning during the day?
She is with the sisters. She
Okay.
has older sisters who are in varsity, and the father also works at home.
Okay.
So when I'm not here, they are taken care of. It's just that the assignments are sent on my phone, and then I have to email, or send them on WhatsApp to them while they are at home.
Are they able to connect with their friends at all? Are they able to go out and play or do anything like that? Or
They are only able to connect with their friends online during the class times, and I have noticed that they usually um, get on WhatsApp groups and chat, and you hear them chatting and laughing with their friends over the phone. Oh, they are not going out, definitely. So they stay at home and just play in the yard outside their own home. They haven't left home for some time now, save for when extended family comes to visit. Otherwise, with their friends from school, no. And
so
they are
they,
missing them.
how long has it been? Have they been doing that since April or is this a new thing?
Yes, since April. You can imagine, since April.
Oh my goodness. What kind of changes are you
Yeah.
seeing? What kind of changes are you seeing in them? Because we have a 5-year-old and a 4-year-old, and we started to notice, some pretty significant changes. They were quite different, and we were only locked down for 3 months. We're in Portugal. We were locked down for 3 months,
Mhm.
but they had the summer. They were able to kind of get back out and do some other things, and now they're back to school, going face to face. Obviously, we have all the different protocols you have to do, but what kind of differences are you noticing in your young one?
What can I say? I'm just worried that they may eventually lack skills of making friends out there later on, because when they are always enclosed, staying with only the relatives, it's not a healthy environment. But because there's many of us in the house, they are managing. I have realized that kids are able to adapt actually quicker than us.
Yeah.
So they are managing and they are always looking forward to, Mom, have you sent our homework? So they know that they have to start doing their homework in the morning, and then they go and play outside or do their PlayStation or run around. They are getting used to it, but of course they still miss school.
How about the older ones? You said you had two older daughters, or she has older sisters?
Yes, my older daughter, who is in varsity, was doing her last year in varsity, but had to stay at home because she was sick a bit. She's going to go back in January in South Africa, but for now she's at home and she's used to staying with the little ones. The other one who is doing high school, she's also been used to learning online as well on her iPad. That one at least is better because she was actually almost used to using her tablet to do schoolwork because they started that program this year. So it was better for her. But she's also been complaining lately that she wants to go back to school. But she understands because only the ones who are in completing classes are allowed back to school these days.
How are they reacting to the social part of it, though, that they can't see their friends, or you would think that they might be, interested in dating or doing something like that. How are they responding to it?
Well, we haven't come to that part yet. I I'm not sure but I haven't noticed any change, or we haven't discussed up to that far yet.
How about the students that you're working with? I mean, I know you work at the university and so forth. Are you seeing more, are kids really just handling it pretty well and they're dealing with it, or are you seeing more um, challenging kinds of behaviors and stuff from students who are feeling the effects of a 6 month, lockdown basically?
Yeah, this period of lockdown has not been good to many of them. Some are really looking disoriented already, stressed up because having to be forced to take online classes with the expensive data this side of the world, it's been really harsh on them. So some are not coping. And we noticed that some are actually not even happy because some of their homes are not um, happy homes most of the time. So they were always looking forward to getting out by going to school. But since this thing started, we have seen more sad faces than normal.
How are
People
you
are
and
just managing.
Yeah, how are you and your
Mhm.
staff? How are you and your staff dealing with the challenges of all this? Do you guys have some sort of self-care or ways of that you're taking care of yourself as you go through this?
Well, there are more counseling services in the varsity, even for the students who are back. So we have the wellness center, and there are these opportunities where people are being taken care of. So with them using that service, life is manageable as far as I can see. Of course, the building is bigger than normal because it's almost empty most of the time,
Right.
and one has to be alone in their own offices and seeing only one or two faces coming to look for information or assistance.
What's going on with the local economy? How is South Africa and where you are dealing with the challenges of the lockdown? How's the economy handling it?
It's not easy because so many people have lost their jobs. So many people have lost their jobs, and with the closure of many businesses, people are really starting to struggle. Um, it's not a very conducive situation. Um, so those who are at work are lucky. Some are able to work at home, which is a new phenomenon for most of them. And I'm sure people are now going to, because the good part of it is that those who are staying in town mostly have now been able to relocate back to the rural areas where they are going to be able to at least do farming and so on to get uh, food in their subsistence farming. Otherwise, the economy is really on its knees, as far as I can see. Most of because ours is fully dependent in South Africa because we are a landlocked country. So with the closure of the border gates going in and outside the country, the import business has been greatly affected. With the strict regulations, people are not able to move as freely. So you are either in or you are out there. That's the package of life, they say.
Is the government trying to do anything to support people, or they're just people are just taking care of themselves, going back to the country, trying to grow some food and just deal with it?
Well, the government is trying to assist people by providing farming equipment for most of them at their homes. Otherwise, most of them are used to doing it by themselves. But when it be, the government is providing agricultural equipment and services for some communities, those especially who are more in need.
So it's all about food right now. I mean, is that kind of where it's at? So we're dealing with the basic struggle for survival, and we're dealing with food issues at this point.
True, true, true. That's right. That's correct.
Well, you and your husband are very fortunate that you were able to continue to do. Your husband, what does he do? He works from home, you said.
Yes, he works from home. We are able to manage so far. Of
Uh,
course, the strain is higher when you have more extended families to take care of on your side, those who have lost their jobs. So I won't say it's that comfortable, but we are managing.
How many do you have living with you now? You said you had an extended family. You have a bunch of people living with you at this point.
Okay, I am in my house currently. It's me and our children, me and my husband and our children, and our live-in helper. And then we always have to go to the other home to take care of, where there's like so many. I can't even say the number because homes this side are very big in the village. So you won't say how many in total.
It's all family though,
Because
right?
their brothers and their wives and their children, my husband's brothers, and so on. So there's many of us. And so when there is one member working, it helps bring the little that we can on the table.
Wow, it's amazing. I really
It
appreciate you
is.
joining me today and sharing this story. I love hearing from people from different, we had a lady from Romania last week that was a teacher, and she was talking about the situation in Romania and how different it was and so forth. And sometimes in the West, I think we forget just the basic reality of some places where things are still, very family oriented, very people still taking care of other people and doing those kinds of things. It's tremendous. I mean, obviously it sounds to me like you and your husband are probably a bit stressed by it all, but what an amazing thing that you're doing right now.
Yeah, we are managing. Thanks for that. Indeed, these parts of the world, we really are more family oriented. So it's good. And sometimes I say to myself, the pandemic has actually made families to come closer
Right.
even more. Mhm. Because
Uh,
they had no choice but to stay together at some point.
yeah, I agree with you. I think that really has brought people together. I want to see if Jill wants
Mm.
to join us. She just joined the show. See if Jill wants to jump in. Jill, would you like to introduce yourself? Hi.
Uh, Hold on just a second. Actually, I'm just exploring the website here, and I just wanted to say hi. I mean,
Okay,
I just came
thanks.
in here to see what was going on, and yeah, so I'm gonna back out and look at some other places. Just, but
Okay.
hello, yeah,
Thank
hello,
you. Thanks
Oh,
for
hello,
joining us.
Jill. How are
yeah,
you?
All
I'm,
right.
yeah, nice to see you. Okay, thank you.
Bye
Bye.
Nice to
bye.
see you.
Well,
Oh,
Gnome's, she's
yes.
leaving. Yeah, I think she's going to
Well,
go.
I think I'm also supposed to leave because I was in the office and we are supposed to close in the next few minutes.
Well, thank you
However,
so
I have
much.
an
Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it.
thank you so much. I'm hoping that I'll join another show similar to this one again. And
Okay.
maybe you like to share other recordings of the show you have been giving so I can learn what others were saying in this show.
Yeah, actually, on Learning Revolution, I do a weekly show. So the Connected Classroom is there. And if you click on Connected Classroom, it'll take you to all the recordings on YouTube. So there's probably 20 or 25 recordings on there. So if you'd like to check that out, you can go learningrevolution.com, just click on the Connected Classroom, and you can find any of that stuff you want.
Thank you so much.
My
Well, it's
pleasure.
been nice meeting you, Rusty. Have a good
Nice.
night.
Yes, you too. Thank you very much. And thank you all
Bye.
that those of you that are listening afterwards or on the podcast. Welcome. And thanks for joining us on the Connected Classroom. Thanks for all you're doing for the kids in your care, and we'll see you next time.